This is ITV News Central. Good afternoon. Nottingham City Council has apologised after it took 5 hours for care centre staff to call for an ambulance for a resident who was suffering a stroke. Eileen Rowe was staying at Cherry Trees home in Nottingham, and it's emerged that staff at the home had stroke awareness training just weeks before it happened. Lee Comley has more on this.
Campaigns say with a stroke, the quicker you act, the more of the person you save. They talk of minutes. For Eileen Rock, she waited hours for help in a home surrounded by staff that were supposed to be caring for her.
I was just lying there, waiting for someone to come in. How long I was there for, I don't know.
5 hours she waited before an ambulance was called at the Cherry Trees home. It's left her unable to walk and made previous speech difficulties even worse.
You know, she wasn't cared for at all. Not in any way at all. And, you know, they've got a responsibility when anything happens to my mum to let me know.
An investigation by the local government ombudsman found that the home's manager and a deputy manager were aware of her mother's situation, but both thought the other had phoned an ambulance.
We've taken a number of measures to make sure that the staff have the awareness and training, and we've also fixed our processes to make sure that we do not have any further miscommunications which led to this sad episode occurring.
The report highlighted that staff at the home had recently received stroke awareness training and that the home's neglect to call the ambulance compromised Eileen's dignity. More importantly, earlier action could have reduced the severity of her condition, and those who were caring for her should have known that speed was of the essence. Lee Comley, ITV News.
There's anger over the High Court rejecting a legal challenge to the so-called bedroom tax. Some disabled people or their carers face benefit cuts if they're deemed to have too many rooms in social housing. James Daly from Stoke-on-Trent, who looks after a disabled son a number of days a week, says the changes will cause great hardship to many claimants like him.
I'm very heartbroken about this judgment. I don't think the judges have got it right or understood the pain and suffering that we will be going through paying this bedroom tax. And it's an attack on the poor, on the disabled, and people who care for disabled adults and children. I thought they would have seen in our favour.
A man appearing in court today accused of trying to kill a pregnant woman in a car park. 31-year-old Leon Harrison from Selly Oak has been charged with attempted murder after a stabbing in a car park on Pershaw Road in Sturchley earlier this month. A former mill in Shropshire has been awarded nearly £13 million to be fully restored. The Flax Mill Maltings in Shrewsbury was the world's first iron frame building and inspired modern skyscraper designs. It's hoped that converting it to office and community space will create jobs, and up to 300 people could be based there. The work to restore the mill starts immediately and be finished in 3 years' time.
Well, at the moment we're in the dye and stove house. It was a dye house in the flax period, stove house for the barley in the maltings period. And it's going to become a centre for learning. We're going to put learning facilities in here, conference facilities, children's play facilities, cafe, restaurant, and you'll see that's open space that can be used for performance, for dance, for music. Whatever the community wants to do here, we'll be able to facilitate it, we hope.
Holidaymakers from the Midlands have become among the first to fly in the brand new Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Crowds watched the moment it took off from East Midlands Airport earlier, heading for Florida. The airliner was temporarily grounded earlier this year after a number of safety issues. The aircraft will be used by Thomson, flying long haul from the Midlands to the USA. And let's see what the weather is looking like for the rest of the day. Here's the forecast now with Lucy Kite.
I can't wait to get some sunshine.
Me too. I'm sick of all these showers. Hello. Well, we've got some very hot and humid weather on the way as we head through this week, with warm air moving in from the continent. By the time we get to Thursday, we're looking at highs of 28 degrees Celsius. As for this afternoon, well, highs of 21 degrees Celsius, 70 in Fahrenheit, so feeling a little bit fresher than of late. Still with some showers to come on and off through the afternoon, but they won't be quite as lively as yesterday. And then we've got rain moving in overnight tonight. Your pollen's next.
Flybe, sponsors of ITV Central Weather. Suffering from hay fever? ITV Pollen Count is sponsored by Benadryl.
Well, with the unsettled conditions and the fact that grass pollen levels are in decline, well, we are expecting low levels as we head through the next couple of days. Have a lovely afternoon.
And that brings us up to date with the news and weather this Tuesday lunchtime. Just a reminder that there are more details on our stories on the web. Log on to itv.com/central. I'll be back with Samina for ITV News Central at 6. See you then.